here are 25 of the craziest goal celebrations. And let's start with this player, because his celebration failed miserably. Whew, yeah, at least he didn't hurt himself. And I thought at first that the player had injured himself during our next goal celebration, but no, he was just celebrating in a very unusual way.
Een heerlijke trap van op grote afstand.
An incredible goal and an extraordinary goal celebration. And hey, if you thought this one was crazy, guys, wait until you see our number one. What a great feeling it must be to score a goal in front of thousands of people. And hey, normally the goal scorer is happy about that, but not this one. Newcastle player Kets Bayer with a 2-1 in the 90th minute. That was the victory, and he almost seemed to be angry about it. But why?
The goal, but for me that time was scoring the goal is the wrong time, you know, because I was so disappointed that I was not getting the chances to play.
Yeah, he was upset because he didn't play from the beginning. And now to Italy, because what this amateur player did after his goal, it gives me a headache just by watching. Why? Everyone just looked at him in disbelief. And yes, the referee didn't find it so funny and gave him a red card. I really think EA should include this goal celebration in its next game. But hey, back to the professionals, because they often come up with creative ways to celebrate. And Frenchman Bafétimbi Gomis is no exception to that. He cheers as a Panther. And after his time in Europe, he moved to Saudi Arabia in 2018 to join Al Hilal. And he showed his goal celebrations there too. But this ball boy got scared. But after the game, a very sweet moment. Gomis looked for the ball boy and gave him his jersey. Now, to perhaps the most creative goal celebration I have ever seen. We're going to the first division in Iceland, to Stjörnun FC, or however you pronounce that. Well, this club is known for coming up with really creative goal celebrations, and this one went viral in 2010. And our number 19 was also exceptional, because footballers are usually very careful about what they eat and drink. I mean, just take a look at Ronaldo. But Domenico Duro didn't take it so seriously.
In the box, shot!
After the goal, a member of staff was waiting for him with a pizza. Oduro took a bite and then gave the pizza to a fan. I mean, this haircut shows that he adores the Italian dish, but the reason for this goal celebration? He had a marketing deal with Papa John's at the time.
What's up with your thing with Papa John's?
Look, I love Papa John's.
Now, to one of the most legendary goal celebrations in England. And to understand this, we have to go back to 2008, to Manchester City versus Hull City. 45 minutes had been played in Hull City. Yeah, they were down 4-0. So the coach gave him a very angry halftime speech on the pitch. Now, let's jump to the following season. Again, Hull City played against Man City, and this time it went well, and there was a penalty. Jimmy Bular equalized to make it 1-1. And what does this goal celebration remind you of?
What's happening? I've walked in the change room, he's on his laptop, and I know what he's looking at. He's looking at the celebration. And he pulled me to one side and he goes, son, he said, don't let them in a bit of band, but wind your neck in a little bit.
In contrast to the referee at Hohen number 17, an awesome goal celebration with a not so nice ending. Erik Hassli takes off his shirt, but he has the same one underneath. Regardless, he still got a yellow for taking off his jersey. And since this was his second, he had to leave the pitch. Our next goal celebration also was a huge disaster. We head to Japan. Brazilian Anderson Lopez played for Sapporo and scored a goal in their own stadium. But he forgot one very important thing. There was a gap behind the banners. I mean, no wonder this fan looked worried. Luckily, the player didn't hurt himself, and the doctors probably thought, another one who jumped. Now guys, to a football legend, the Welshman Paul Gascoigne. he not only gave us great goals, but also amusing stories. We are in 1996 European Championship in England. But Gaza's attitude was criticized, among other things, because a few days before the Euros, he was in Hong Kong with a few teammates and had a few drinks too much. Allegedly, he had himself tied to a chair and then had alcohol poured all over him. Hence, this goal celebration.
Take a bow for that. That's unbelievable.
It was about 9 of us did the dentist chair in Hong Kong, but obviously, being the person I am, I'm the one that got hammered for it. But just, for some reason, the second game against Scotland, I just says, right guys, whoever scores does the dentist chair. And obviously, fortunate for me, it was me, like, you know.
These were quite some characters back then. Just like Wayne Rooney, the Englishman was often in the news for his insane goals, but also because of an incident in 2015, when his mate, a boxer, knocked him out in Rooney's kitchen during a sparring session. Anyway, this was on every front page in England, but Rooney took it with humor.
That could be the knockout blow from Wayne Rooney.
But the coach at our next number didn't have such a good sense of humor. The player Modeste literally drove him crazy. In 2021, Cologne played against Union Berlin, and Cologne, they played well, but they were 1-2 behind. There was a corner 4 minutes before the end of the game.
Delivers header. Oh, beautiful start from Anthony Modeste. That is perfection. That's how you score heading goals.
Den Ausgleichstreffer hat Anthony Modeste ihm die Mütze geklaut. Sie schienen da nicht wirklich erfreut darüber zu sein, haben ihn dann so ein bisschen Richtung Platz geschickt wieder. Was war denn da los?
Nee, gar nichts. Ich war über das 2-2 sehr erfreut. Ich bin nur mit dem Ergebnis nicht einverstanden gewesen. Ich glaube, es ist dann wichtig, in den Momenten einfach konzentriert zu bleiben.
Modeste, however, he seemed to have fun though. Mario Balotelli, on the other hand, wanted to send a message to all his critics, and he had quite a few at Manchester City. Many accused him of not having discipline. And what was his answer to that?
I think too many people talk, too many people speak about me bad, and now they have just to shut up, that's it.
Now, to a player who looks very clumsy at first, Peter Crouch. He is 2 meters and 1 centimeter tall and celebrated many of his goals with a fantastic goal celebration.
In terms of that as a celebration, where did it come from?
David Beckham had a World Cup warm-up party, and it was being filmed for ITV, and we'd had a few drinks, to be honest. So all the lads laughed their heads off, loved it, thought it was hilarious, and I said, right, if I score, the next couple of days, then we had 2 games. I said, I'll do it.
I wish I could move like that. Now, to a penalty that made big waves on the internet. Did she hurt herself? And she was not the first one to celebrate like that. Sven Jidda with a celebration that even made it to the new EAFC 24. Now to the prince from Denmark. We are in the year 1998. World Cup in France. In the quarterfinals, underdog Denmark will face one of the favorites, Brazil. And hey, it started well. Denmark with the lead. But then 2 goals from Brazil. But then, the 50th minute of the game. Laudrup with a 2-2. And how did he come up with this goal celebration? Well, he wanted to try something out after his son complained that he always celebrates goals in such a boring way. Now, to a goal celebration where the striker made fun of the coach. In 2014, Chelsea, with their manager Mourinho, fought for the Premier League title with striker Eto'o. And a few days earlier, Mourinho was caught saying this during an event.
Eto'o va de mieux en mieux, je dirais, quand même. Il est mieux qu'au début, en tout cas. Non?
32 ans, peut-être 35, je ne sais pas.
And even though it was meant ironically, Eto'o had the perfect answer in the next game against Tottenham.
Another goal for him at Stamford Bridge.
Who suggested goal celebration, John?
I didn't suggest, but I knew it. We thought it was more than fun, because the best way to defuse the situation is to make fun of a funny situation.
We've almost reached our top 3, but first we have to talk about this goal celebration that changed the football world forever. 1999 Women's World Cup Championship in the US, and the home team USA was in the final against China. The score was 0-0 after extra time, penalty, shootout. If Prandi Chastain scores now, the US would win. The image of this celebration became known all over the world. And hey, taking off the jersey while cheering was quite normal for the men, but not for the women. Many supported Brandy, but she was also criticized by some.
It seems difficult. Like, why would somebody be upset about that? But I think the commentary was they'd never seen something like that before. And so that makes people uncomfortable, right?
Our next goal celebration, on the other hand, made everyone laugh. You still remember Stjörnen FC, right? How about the bicycle goal celebration? Now, to England, to a striker who often made headlines, for better or for worse. Luis Suarez. He played for Liverpool in the 2012 derby against Everton. And Everton coach Moyes said in an interview that he was worried Suarez would influence the referee with his dives.
It still goes on, and there's the shot.
He scored and made a dive in front of Moyes.
Luis Suarez obviously played a big part in both their goals. What did you make of where and the way he celebrated the first goal?
I thought it was great. I would have probably done the same if I'd been the player.
Many players like to post on Instagram, but Mario Balotelli, he had a very special idea. He posted a story of his goal celebration on Instagram. I guess he was probably inspired by Francesco Totti.
Sta mandando un messaggio. Si sta facendo un selfie.
And before we get to what is probably the craziest goal celebration ever, let's talk about one of the most famous ones. Because it led to a 2-match ban, a £25,000 fine, and turned an entire club against the player. Emmanuel Adebayor played for Arsenal from 2005 to 2009, and he was an important part of the team, scored a lot of goals, and was popular with the fans. But then the year 2009, Manchester City had a new owner with a lot of money, and they bought Adebayor, who started well. In the fourth game of the season, he played against his old club, and during the game, Arsenal fans insulted him repeatedly, so he took revenge in his own way.
Celebrate like never before. But we should have known.
He scored the 3-1 and then ran all over the pitch to celebrate in front of the Arsenal fans. But hey, at least he apologized after the game.
Very sorry for doing what I have done. And we are all human beings. We have to do a mistake to be better tomorrow. I have done a big mistake today, and I think tomorrow this thing will never happen anymore.
And now to the best goal celebration I have ever seen. Mario Jurovski pulled his trousers over his head, but the referee from the Thai league didn't find it so funny and gave him his second yellow card. And if you always wanted to know how Guardiola became such a great coach, then watch this video.